Welcome to Kathy D. Slat's SRC for You Zoom call for March 25th, 2022. We're here on Kathy's website. To access the Zoom call, we'll scroll down, look for the Zoom planner, click here, and the call will be live.
Off that too. Now, let me show you here. There's a bunch of stuff we want, which I'll be doing, probably we'll see if it's not too much. There's a scan on airborne pathogens we want. But I went ahead and did this A to Z. Do you all have this list, A to Z for SRC? Have I ever sent that out? That ringing a bell?
No, I don't have it.
I got that list years ago on, of all things, New Year's Eve. And I ran my daughter and about had heart failure. So I'll warn you ahead of time. It's very, 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 very subtle. But I'm going to go ahead and send you that list that you can do for yourself, because obviously we're doing this for the group. Let me show you first, before we get to that, here up above scanning all this down here. These are the things that we need to send some energy to just in general. Look at that, stress management. Go figure. Again, a little, even in spite of the work we're doing, we still have to perhaps change some habits or whatever. And that's a 98, so that's still chronic. Nope. Just in the shin. Service to others. It's going all the way up to the top. Clear toxicity in the food supply. This, we didn't really come up with all of the nutritional things this time, but we all are aware of what's going on with our food supply. No need to harp on it, but we do have tools to help us. Nine hours. Then also, and then this dehydration thing is a pretty common thing, so we all need to, it looks like, be aware of that. I need to get back to that, drinking 4 glasses of water every morning, which I stopped doing. And that's a chronic stress. We can probably send all the frequency in the world, but we got to drink more water, good water. Okay. Pathogens. Okay. A lot of times the P4 energy is going to be just what we need. Response to stress. And, we need some stress. It looks like we might have some negative response. Let's just douse that. And then psychological. So anyway, we've got that. Let's look. Brace yourself. This is our scan for the A to Z SRC. And it's like, whoa. And you can get, so we're just going to put this in right now, but you see perhaps a miasm, we've got some bladder stress, all extremely subtle, bronchial tubes, sinuses, some of this, I don't even know what it is, stress related to the colon and bacteria, congestion, so on and so forth. And some flu frequencies in there, low blood sugar, lungs mentioned several times. So for now, I'm just going to put all that in there. And our work, for each of us, it will give us what we need from it. That's the power of this software. But also, and I will do this over the weekend, I'm going to test some of these for priority and see if there is any focus. Now we've got for our Pro Tools here, where'd it go? We want the mediator and the supercharger, so I don't know yet what we're going to do with that. We'll have to see. So anyway, with that in mind, we're still doing that owner's manual for the brain, and it's taken us to the pregnancy. And the interesting thing is that sometimes you wonder why you're doing all these things and you're not getting the results you want. And there could be some trauma, some pre-birth trauma that needs to be cleared. We can do the inner work to do it if we will. But just a few things. We've got the glial cells, which is all about the connection of all these communication indexes that can be very stressed by various habits of the mother, which we're going to go over. And it can throw our rhythm off balance. Of course, we know about fetal alcohol syndrome, but then we've got cocaine, we've got marijuana, we've got prescription drugs, etc., that could throw all this off. And we're looking, I would think, at ourselves and anyone else who might be interested. But it's basically, there is no time, they say. Folic acid, that's very interesting. The stress related to not getting enough folic acid during pregnancy. This was a good code. I thought positive influence on genetic development on a cellular level. This adrenal stuff is very interesting. They found, for example, in Nazi Germany, during all that horrendous experience, any women who were pregnant, there was a higher rate of the children actually developing psychopathy. It's quite, and schizophrenia. I'm sorry, I'm risking not mentioning the two. I put clear risk of autism because we see an increase in that, reduced stress. This high IQ was mostly related to not getting your stroking and your affection in your infancy. And this actually, if you're interested, I can send you They give you something each month. The first month, what to do. The second month, etc. I sent it to my daughter. Of course, this is all real interesting to me at this time, but I can add it if anybody wants it. Just let me know. But there's such a priority, and they've done a lot of experiments with this. They even took mice that had, well, maybe they took the mice from their mothers, and apparently the mothers licked the mice. And they found if they didn't get that, they did not survive, but they could take a wet brush and simulate that stroking, and the mice were just fine. And then they talked a lot about breastfeeding. Here are two fatty acids that at that time of the book, I think they have since changed it, but these are essential, and they were not in the formulas. And so what happened is that that may have been changed now, but they really did emphasize the breastfeeding. Let's just see as a group what we say. I'm just going to see if we can scan. Okay. Well, marijuana. We wanted to balance the cortisol. You just can't see that well. Oh, I left some out. Wait a minute. Never mind. All right. Neural growth, which makes sense. Cognitive function, bonding. This was all related to the breastfeeding. The high quality child care, huge. First 3 years is critical. I didn't get a code for this, but the high cortisol, etc., can actually destroy the brain cells. So we want to eliminate neuronal damage related to maternal deprivation and clear wound trauma. Let me do this again. I knew here in St. Pete there was a couple that took in foster children, and they got one once that her mother had been on whatever, heroin, crack, I don't know, and they said she was done. She'd had so many brain cells killed that they did not anticipate much of a life for this little girl. And what the foster father did is he held that baby 24/7. They said he walked around holding that baby and loving on that baby. And today that baby is an attorney. So that goes to show you what you can do.
Martha has 2 kids in her studio like that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing what the parents, both of them are adopted, and to the same family, and it's been pretty amazing what that family has done for these kids.
It is. It's absolutely, miraculous, and that's what we have now. My stuff is responding a little slower, so I'm waiting here for that list to go in here. Let's just go down and see what else we can do. Let's go ahead and look at the supercharger while we're waiting. I was actually hoping I had a 528 hertz in here, which is, among other things, the miracle. I don't want that exactly. We have a code. Bear with me a moment. I'll have to find it. But for 528 hertz, which we could, let's just test that. Let's see how we're doing with our. It's still not there. Get back. Just go down here and get the image.
What happened?
No, it's here. We're just adding, we're going to go ahead and put 528 hertz. I'm going to save it as a cocktail since it apparently was not there. Which they say it's the love and the miracle DNA healing frequency. Let's see what we've got here as far as the... It's still not coming, isn't that something? Well, let's try it again. There we
Did it
go.
give you a number?
What's that?
Did it give you a number or no?
Yeah, I have a number. I'll include it in our notes. Now let's just look here now at this and see as a group. Just for the heck of it, if we have any stress related to any of this. No, we don't, as a group, this is not a vital thing to do. So that, but you have the information now. So here, and then womb trauma too. We can check this and you can see this for yourself. See if this applies at all to us at this moment in time. Okay, so a divorce. So if the parents are in the process of a divorce, the fetus knows these things, they say. Bruce Lipton did a lot of interesting. So that's the main one for the group. And so this would be, again, something to work with if it's applicable. Now, this twin loss also. A lot of people, when they're conceived, there is initially a twin. And Mary was saying there's a good court of atonement for that because that can be a significant stress to the remaining fetus that they lost their twin. So anyway, if we take what we've got so far, and we've got quite a bit today, good old wonder click. And I think for this A to Z list, I'm going to send that in a separate email because it is so long. You don't want it in this one. So you get 2 emails today, hopefully, or maybe tonight or tomorrow. But we're pulling up information from the subtle bodies. We've got the gallbladder meridians. Now again, the wonder click is giving us the information in order to balance this stress. But if you are so inclined, you could see anytime gallbladder meridian comes up, if there's a priority for chi, but that's all we're doing is building our chi for the implant command. No, don't need it. And then we also saw amino acids. If we want the amino acid scan for more detail. Yeah, we do. So, Yeah, I'm going to have to find that one and do that one later. But we can meanwhile go into the dispenser. And people come up a lot in reference to amino acids somehow involved with pathogens. Wait a minute, I did the wrong thing there. Hold on. All right, so we'll do it a couple times. First of all, look how often the bladder appeared, and then also immunity here. But look how ironic, I put stress related to amino acids and everything else came up but amino acids. Just 1 minute with 10 repeats. Let's go in. You can't really give yourself too much because you're going to process what you need. Try it again, and this time just make a cocktail. So this just, again, very subtle information. One minute, 9 repeats. And just let that go. There's the pericardium. That's what we were focused on yesterday. Let's just see, priority, pericardium, cocktail. Nope. Just giving ourselves, this will take care of it as far as the stress, fever, allergens, small intestine, which this is related to the pericardium, brow chakra. We're taking a lot of information for the earth element. You see, no discarnate type stuff, excessive body fat, mouth. This is a pretty interesting thing. Stress related. This could either be our words or it could be the pathogens. They say that what will kill you is a bite from a human more so than a bite from an animal because of all the pathogens we have in our mouth. It looks okay at this moment in time. It's just information. There's again that earth element. Again, see all the reference. Defensive action, self-deception. Look at that. We're not having enough fun. It looks like we're a little too. And again, this is all extremely subtle. Tumor, cyst. Did your deaf aunt make it to her hearing? No, she was impaired. Who knows where the extreme mental anguish. Well, let's just look at that kind of stress. Again, subconscious grade, morality, fear-based. That's our ego. And the confliction imposed. It's not so much coming from outside as inside is what I interpret that as, and that's the thing. We'll all have our different interpretations. So we see our overall theme is our energy flow. Let's look, even though we didn't ask for it, let's just look at acupuncture. And let's look at it in reference to the earth element. That's been coming up often. So you get a long list here. You might be eating a little bit too much. I can't imagine that would be the fact. Heavy metal, just see how long. Just 55 minutes. Now, when it comes to the mediator, in fact, let's do one more thing quickly. I just went ahead and put that 528 hertz in the supercharger. Let's see if that's really what we want. Well, yeah, we'll take it. All right, good. Let's see how long we want to go. Okay, 2 hours. Again, you can use your own intuition. You don't have to do it this way. And then, the mediator. We've got one last thing, if you have the time. Any thoughts on what we want to put in the mediator? This will probably go over the whole weekend. Any ideas? Let me just try this.
I don't really know how to use the mediator when the person I'm working on doesn't know what a conflict is.
I know, well, and it may, okay, now there we've got an 88. Yeah, the mediator is really interesting. The way I'm using it, and I don't even know if that's the approved way, is just whatever conflict I think I'm having with myself. So in other words, if there were a legal conflict or anything like that, if you really believe we created, even though you may not like the sound of that, for example, what we want to do, 88% benefit anyway, let's just give it a shot. Go in here, let's just put, what the heck, I now actualize my ability to create heaven on earth. And I like that in a perfect and correct way. That fits in many ways. You don't want to step on anybody else's toes, but we have been told we're supposed to be doing that, and we do resonate with that in the mediator. So what I've been doing, that's why it sometimes takes a while, is I started at 10 and go all the way. We're wanting to see, do we really, we talk about these things, but do we really, down deep, want to? It's like weight loss is the most common example. And you see it all the time with people who lose a significant amount of weight. The next thing you know, they're bigger than they ever were, because down deep they were afraid, which is very often we're afraid We're afraid to do these things. What if they don't work? And rather than be disappointed, we just don't do it at all. Let's just see about this. Okay, so we start out and we do resonate. We're taking 6 minutes. Just what I've been doing is then after this I'll go to a 9, and it's very interesting that our low resonance when we get to where we're not willing is very often in the 5 and the 6 area. It's like stuck in there. We have on a conscious level, hey, I'm doing this, but then you get in the middle and there's a block. So anyway, that's for now, and I'll go some deeper into some of this over the weekend, but meanwhile, we've got the information, we're processing it. Interesting to see how long we'll go. Let's just look right now for the first one. We're going to go 16 hours, 47 minutes. And so we are here.
Perfect. Thanks, Kathy. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Guys,
Everybody have a great
Thank
weekend.
you. Have a good weekend.
Okay,
Thank you,
take
Kathy.
care.
Have
Bye.
a good weekend.
Thank you. Bye,
See
everyone.
ya.
This concludes the SRC for You Zoom call. Thank you for participating. We look forward to seeing you again. Till then, take care and be well.